Okay, practice problem 2.1. Again, expect that I'm going to make mistakes and kind of go different directions at times, so I am going to recommend that you watch the video all the way through and then rewind to the points that make sense. As always, if you look at this geometry, take it as far as you can, try it without the videos and see how far you get. And if nothing else, when you do watch the video, it's an alternate way. I always say my videos are not the only way; they're a way to do it. If you want to experiment, try some different things. By all means, jump into it and see what happens. All right, so millimeters, grams, and seconds. I'll try to remember to check my units first this time. Medium, parts origin, location indicated, symmetric. All sketches are fully defined. Lines, circles, center lines, circles, sketch fillets, and extruded boss. All right, so they are going to put the sketch fillets. So looking just first at the isometric, front plane is across the back. So if we open up the sketch on the front plane, extrude in our positive direction, we'll have this geometry. The couple of bosses on the back. When I look at this, what I see is a rectangle and probably the midpoint centered rectangle, so that when we put well, we could do that as regions. We can just have, I was thinking maybe if we trim them or do the symmetry, we could utilize that existing geometry. And then they said sketch fillets, but I think I would rather introduce, since we're going to be doing offset for this inside edge and making the cut, I think I would rather do these outside fillets with a features fillet rather than a sketch fillet, because that will leave my geometry to be just the utilized with the contours and regions. All right, so other than that, section view, dimensions, don't see anything too crazy here, so let's jump into the sketch. All right, so new sketch, make sure I'm picking my millimeter template, and we're going to sketch on the front plane. And I'm just switching into the left click and sketch. We're going to go back to our rectangle, make sure to select the center rectangle, and we're just going to drag that out some distance. That looks good. All right, 109 by height of 31. And the circles, then, we'll just draw the 4 circles. There's not really that big of a need to make them symmetrical. Going to escape out of the circle command. That one's already highlighted. Again, if your select is in a light blue, I had switched over to magenta because it shows up better in the videos. So as long as you're getting a selection color, we're going to hold down the control key and select, and then hold down the control key, left click to select, hold down the control key, left click to select, and if you find equal on the pop-up, that works. Or we can always come over to the property manager and select equal. What that does when we set the first dimension and we are given a radius of 9, we need to double that, 18. But to check my math, I'm going to go in and switch to the display. And there again, the difference between a left click and a right click. The left click gives you the upper portion, the right click gives you all this other stuff. So let's go ahead and hit OK. See if I can do that with just the left click. No? Oh, I'm still in the dimensions. So, all right, so that gives us the basic shape. I don't really want to trim all of this out. and put those sketch fillets in. We'll find a place for sketch fillets. I have no doubt that they will be available. So this is going to be a 3mm thick. So into the extrude, and it is ignoring. Oh, we need a blind in condition of 3. And it's ignoring the center lines. So if it did pick individual, I would just pick all 4 of the regions, and we go ahead and accept. All right, my next sketch is going to be on this opposite face, or this outside face, and I don't want to redraw all of this geometry. So this is where our offset tool comes in. So where is my dimension for the offset? We have a thickness of 1.5 from the top. Let's see, radius is, oh, there it is, 1.5 millimeters all the way around. All right, so at the top, top view of the part, 1.5. All right, so offset entities, with the face selected, it's going to grab everything. Let's get the 1.5 in there first, and we can see that it's going to the outside. I need it to go to the inside, and then we can reverse it, and that will give me all of my interior geometry. So the downside of the sketch, I could put the fillets in. As a general rule, fillets and chamfers go in last. There are times where they create tolerancing problems. Let's just say as a best practice, I am least concerned about the fillets and the chamfers. I have a lot more geometry that we want to work with. So while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put in the 2 bosses, and the boss was a diameter of 5. No, that's the through hole. What is the diameter of 8? Okay, so escape to get out of that, select control select. Those are equal. Well, let's go ahead and finish out. I'm already thinking about putting the holes through. I'm not going to worry about the holes just yet. So we make all of those horizontal. And then our dimensions, so they're 9 from the outside, which usually want to control the hole centers between the cylinders, between the holes, not to the outside of the geometry. So, all right, that gives us enough that we can do our extrusion. It is 1.5 off of the back, so 1.5, but design intent says that if I always want that 1.5, even if I change the 3 to 5, I don't want to go back and do that math. So one of the end conditions we have in an extrude cut is we're going to pick, oh, it is going to find it because it's a continuous region. There's no overlaps. Let's do, if we just did the blind 1.5, then we get a result. And for the exam, this is fine, but our real world scenario is probably, since we're given that 1.5 dimension, I would like to retain it by using an offset from surface. So if I go that way, I can see that the cut stops, but the advantage is going to be, it did not include the, so let me click all the buttons, and then we'll go back and left click and get back into the feature. And it still found the contour, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch that. I have to go back and look and see if I actually clicked on that contour or if it found it, because it should have just found the whole region. In fact, let's just go ahead and delete. And I want to see if it included, yeah, so it was something that I clicked. All right, so if you got this on the first go around, then that's fine. We'll figure out that geometry. All right, so another extrude boss base, and then go to contours and regions. I would like just the holes and bring that boss up some distance. And now if we go offset from surface again, I can pick the surface and that becomes 0.75. All right, so it's still showing that that is kind of interior to the part. So if I reverse the offset, then we have all these fun things, boxes to pick from to make this work. So that being the case, we're going to offset from the surface, bring it up 0.75. And what that is basically doing is I don't have to mess with the sketch. I don't have to mess with the geometry. We get everything in that first extrusion, and can share the sketch. All right, so one more sketch on the face. All right, when we're looking for the center of circles, so I need to place the hole. I'm going to drag this one across, and as I hover over the perimeter of the circle, it's going to show me the 4 quadrants, 0, 90, 180, 270, and the center. And just like our other selections, when we pick on that that center, it's going to show me the preview of the yellow box that it's going to be coincident. All right, so we're going to zoom out. I'm just using the scroll wheel to kind of halfway zoom. So just kind of back and forth, and wherever the mouse is pointing, the zoom centers at that location. So select, hold down the control button, hit select, set them equal, smart dimension of 5. Right, and then we're going to extrude cut. And again, my end condition will be through all so that I don't have to think about the geometry. All right, so as I was saying is, if I go back and just double click on the extrude, this is an optional sidetrack. If I go back and I say I want that to be 10 millimeters, and I rebuild it, all right, that's going to make this cavity deeper and retain the wall thickness of 1.5. The bosses all stay in. If we just put in regular numbers, our the 1.5 for the depth, then this 1.5 would have kept it there throughout the revisions. So let's go back to 3 or possibly undo, and we'll save it. All right, our last is going to be, and I don't see any fillets around the outside. So with this many fillets and that many sketch fillets, I am feeling a little bit better about my decision to go to the outside. So the interior fillets, on the downside, since the 1.5, yeah, that is going to mess with the interior fillet a little bit on the offset. So I kind of made a decision. If I put the fillet on the outside first, it would have automatically determined these inside. All right, so let's do a rollback. I'm not 100% committed yet, so let's do a rollback. And selecting that vertical edge, I'll go into the fillet command. I'm telling it that it's 3.75, and we hit tab. Now before we finish this, I want to go to the next vertical, and when I select it, pause. All right, because we're looking for those vertical edges to select, and that will grab all 8 of them. All right, so if I did that, okay, if everything on the offset worked, which it didn't, okay, so we will go back into the sketch. It did update the radiuses though on the offset, so that's good. And that should be yeah, the 3.75 minus 1.5, 2.25. We could have just done that math and been okay. But where's the fun in that? So let's go back to the face and the selected contours. Okay, I don't know why it didn't recognize it. So apparently it had, oh, I probably had to roll for it. Well, not sure why it didn't select for that. All right, so the geometry all looks like it's in. Everything looks pretty good. So let's save this as 2-1. And we're going to go to the evaluate mass properties. And I'm not seeing anything I missed. So we have 5263. I got 5308. So pretty close. Um, Still not sure if you're if you're watching from the gallery and see where I'm screwing these up, then make the give me the comment. But I think I'm standing behind my geometry, so let's check one number. They gave us a 2.25. Ah, that one's 3 millimeters. All right, so how did they calculate that? Oh, I went from the base. So that's probably enough to make a difference. Okay. Well, I answered my own question. How about that? All right. So realizing that I did not pick that geometry, let's go back to the cut extrude, and we'll edit the sketch and go back into the selected contours, and I can pick that shape. Now this is probably going to generate an error. So if you saw that 2.25 and said, what is he doing? Then you probably were able to fix your geometry. So that one did not kick it out though. So let's go ahead and see. All right, so that one is there. And the boss extrude is to the outside. So since I eliminated it there, all right, I'm making this way too complicated, by the way. We pretty much finished, and if you got that far, in fact, I can recognize I'm making this way too complicated. So the issue here is going to typically be that face is gone, so we need to, no, it found the outside face, so that's okay. Then let's edit the sketch. And see, oh, the circles, the centers. All right, so that being the case, we have the two centers for the coincident. I just need to remove that coincident and drag away and reapply it. And drag away and reapply it. And go ahead and see if that corrects the boss. All right, so at what point did we create that one? So the offset from the face went that way. All right, so let's go ahead and open up a sketch. I lost it. Let's go ahead and open up a sketch. And if I pick that geometry, might as well go ahead and introduce the convert entity. All right, so if I pick the face, the inside and the outside is going to take and convert that into geometry. It does not look like it got that one though. Actually, I don't think it matters. I typically try to include, but since it's not a boss, we're just going to cut a little bit off. Let's go, since I'm having fun with the offset faces here, we're going to go 2.25. All right, and I can double check that number. All right, so wonder if that happens to be, yep, 0.75 millimeters. So there again, I made an assumption. If we do the math, we can end up with some interesting results about as easily as if I'm pushing buttons. So 5262 with an 8, so rounding up 5263. How about that? We're right there on the numbers. So let's save it and we'll move on to the next one.